Hi, my name's Rich Sims. I'm a facilitator with Men Healing. I'm also a master somatic movement educator and movement therapist, a body awareness, Aikido, and mindfulness instructor, and a somatic trauma specialist. Now, all that really means is that I help a lot of people with their stress, fear, anxiety, and even trauma. I teach a lot of body-mind tools that you can use in countless areas of your lives. I look forward to working together. Take care. So before we begin today, I like to always start with what I call a safety contract. And I make this contract with everyone that I always work with because we're working with our bodies and our minds. And this is new stuff to a lot of people. And all the safety contract says is that you're in charge. So even if I ask you to do something that seems like not a big deal, like, oh, can you raise your hand? If for whatever reason that doesn't seem right to you, or it bothers you, or is annoying, don't do it. You're in charge. Okay? Now what I do invite you to do is watch the video and maybe see what I am doing or why I'm asking you to do that. But if that's still not right, don't do it. Remember, you're in charge. And not every video that we put out may be right for everyone. So that's my deal with you, the safety contract. In another video, we explored what it meant to bring our awareness to our breathing. And we're going to dive in a little deeper to this awareness thing. What exactly do people mean by that? I've participated in different classes and I've peeked around, and when the teacher asks a lot of people, oh, bring your awareness to the room or to their body, what I've noticed is if people have their eyes closed, sometimes they'll like all of a sudden be peeking around the room like, hey, am I doing this right? A lot of teachers and people ask people to do things but don't really explain what they mean. I don't want to do that. So let's dive in and figure out what I mean when I say, please bring your awareness to a certain object. It's where it all begins, because the more awareness we bring to something, the more information that we bring in, and the more information that we have, the better chance we have to wisely respond to what's going on around us instead of just blindly reacting to it. So instead of talking through definitions of awareness, let's actually play with it. What I invite you to do is just kind of get comfortable. You can do this either sitting or even lying down, okay? Just get comfortable, whatever that means to you. And what I first ask you to do is just to yourself, describe the room around you. Bring your awareness to the room around you, or your attention to the room around you. How would you describe that room? And just take a couple of minutes here and take note of some of the things that you're saying to yourself, or how you would describe that to somebody else. My next question is, how do you know those things? How do you know what is around you? Okay, before I give you the answer, I want to let you in on two things that I consider to be truths. Number one, the way we experience the world around us is through our bodies, our physical bodies. And number two, the only way to bring information in from the outside world into our minds and our bodies is, again, through our bodies. Back to my question. How do you know what's going on in the room around you? Well, the answer is your senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. Okay? Those are the five big senses. People argue sometimes that they have more senses or less, but I'm just talking about the five senses that usually we all know about. Most people, when I'm asking this question, they describe the room by things they see. Or if they're really trying to be descriptive, maybe, and they hear like a loud noise or something, they'll give me a sound. They use their two primary senses, or what I refer to as the senses that most of us walk around this world defaulting to. We use our eyes to pick up a lot of information. That's good. But we have other senses that we can pick up more information with. How would we use our other senses to describe the room? Sight's easy. We look around and everything. Sound, we pay attention to the sounds, right? Touch. You're touching the chair right now that you're sitting on, or, the surface that you're lying on. Nothing says you have to sit here and do this. You could actually walk around and touch a wall if you want, or touch the table in front of you, touch your leg. Smell. What does the room smell like? I once had somebody that described that before they entered into a room, they could smell carpet. They knew whether there was going to be carpet in a room or not before they entered into it. And taste. Okay, that's kind of a weird one to figure out how you would do it in a room, and you could go lick a wall, but I would not say that that's a good thing to do. But you ever entered into a room, if somebody's cooking something, like maybe your favorite meal or just something that you really love eating, and you enter into that room and you can literally taste the room. Okay, so again, what I want you to do is bring your awareness, your attention, your awareness to the room around you. But this time use as many senses as you can. Okay. How would you now describe the room? Was this different doing it this second time? Was it different the second time when you used a lot of your senses versus the first time when you probably just defaulted to one or two senses? Okay. A lot of people that I work with say, yeah, it's a different experience. And I ask them, how? How is it different? So take a moment to think about that. Okay, now we're going to shift a little bit. Okay. And instead of the room around you, I don't want you to bring your awareness and your attention to the room around you. I want you to bring it into your body. Okay. And my question is, what are you doing in your body? Okay. Think about that for a second. What are you doing in your body? Okay, I'll ask the same question that I asked you for the room. How do you know? How do you actually know what you're doing in your body? It's a weird question. And sometimes people answer, well, I just know, I think it. Well, I can think of a lot of things. I can think I'm flying. It doesn't mean I'm flying. Okay. Or I just feel it. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't tell me how you're feeling, like what that means. It's kind of vague. Okay. So the answer is actually the same. It's through our senses. For this exercise, sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. Okay. Sight. We actually can use our eyes and we know how we're moving. If we're moving down a hallway or down someplace, we look around, we can tell whether we're moving smoothly. We can look at our hands and see if we have little tremors going, or if we reach for something, if we're doing that smoothly. Our sight helps us do this. Sound. Okay, this is a tricky one. Some people go, how do you mean sound? Listen to my body. Just do an experiment with me. Take your tongue in your mouth and you keep your lips closed, and I'll invite you to just run your tongue all around your mouth. Can you hear that? Here's another one. Turn your neck in circles. Can you hear all the little creaks and cracks in your neck? Okay, or the last time you were really hungry, did you hear something gurgling in your stomach? Okay, we pick these things up, but a lot of times we just aren't paying attention to them. Okay, we're not aware of them, of what's going on. Touch. Okay, we touch different parts of our body all the time. We use it to soothe ourselves. We'll like rub something that hurts. But here's a different little experiment to try if you'd like. If you hold your arm out and you put your other hand on your forearm, you take your fingers and you start moving them up and down different directions. Can you feel all the different muscles in your forearm firing to move your fingers? Okay, touch. Okay, you can do the same thing without that hand. Can you feel the muscles in your arm moving the fingers? And how deep could you feel into that arm or any part of your body? Can you feel the muscles, the tendons? It's just an experiment. Play with it. Smell. We all smell. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but sometimes smells are affected by our emotions. Okay? If we get really stressed, all of a sudden we're sweating and everything, we're emitting different smells than when we're calm and relaxed and that sort of thing. Smell. Do senses get turned off, or are we picking up on our own smells or the smells of other people? Again, just something to explore. Okay? And finally, taste. Okay, what does your mouth taste like? Don't go through the day going, what does my mouth taste like? But what does your mouth taste like? Okay. Again, you can use your tongue and just kind of swirl it around. Do your teeth taste the same as your gums? Again, we're working on bringing our awareness to things. Okay? We're playing with this to build, to build our sense of awareness. We're working on the skill of awareness. So once again, I'm going to ask the question, what are you doing in your body? But this time, I want you to use as many senses as you can to describe to yourself, what am I doing in my body? Am I moving something? Do I hear sounds? Do I smell something? Take a moment. What are you doing in your body? Okay, I'll again ask you, was that the same or different than the first time I asked you the question, what were you doing in your body? A lot of people say it's different. It's fuller. They're getting more information. And again, that information serves us well. Okay? So, just quick little thing to play with if you want to do this. If not, just watch and play along, and you can watch me do it. This is just to kind of prove out the more senses that we have, the fuller picture that we have. Okay, first, what does your mouth taste like? Okay, once again, tastes good, bad, sweet, tart. What's your mouth taste like? Get a picture of that. Now, if you would like to do this, and if your finger's clean, take your finger and swish it around in there. And really quickly, smell it. Does it smell like you thought that was going to smell based on what you thought your mouth tasted like? Sometimes it does. Other times I see people and they go, whoa, that is not what I thought was going on in my mouth. Okay, the only reason I do this is to kind of prove out the point that just if we're using one of our senses, or just one or two, we get a certain amount of information and we pick up on certain things. But the more senses we can use, the fuller picture that we can get. What we think we're experiencing here, it is what we're experiencing, but it might not be what other people are experiencing when they actually smell our breath. So the more of our senses we can use, the better equipped we are to bring in way more information and use that information to respond instead of just reacting. Okay, that's our goal. One last shift. Okay, we brought our awareness and our attention through our senses to the room around us and to our body. Now we're going to combine the two. How do we use this in the real world? Why are we playing with this? It's where I always go usually with this stuff. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, if you would like to do it, is bring your awareness again to your body. What are you doing in your body? Now, the next step that I invite you to do is keep your awareness on your body, but extend it out into the world around you. Okay? So 100% of your awareness is on your body, but you've extended that out, that 100% out to the world around you. So 100% here and 100% there. It's not, oh, I'm taking 50% and moving it out and only 50% here. 100%, 100%. Start with your body, extend it out to the world. So you're aware of the world around you, but it begins with what you're doing. You're centered on yourself, you're grounded, and you're paying attention to what's going on around you. It's a much more stable space to move around the world with. So play with that during the day, or even when you're lying down. And you could play with it by either bringing your awareness to one or the other, the world around you or yourself, but always come back and see if you can start with yourself and then also be aware of what's happening around you. Remember, our goal is to be and use our awareness to bring in as much information of what's going on around us, because we do respond differently to what's happening around, and we need that information to determine, hey, what's the best course forward for me at this moment? I want all the information I can get to make that choice and to give me that choice. So go ahead and play. And I look forward to the next time we're around and the next time we're together to work on other things. Take care.